Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we about to do it. Hold on. Wait for it. Wait for it. Can you see the screen? You see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Geekswagg, it says,
okay.
right?
All right. We're gonna do this. Okay, why? Wait for it. Wait
Hi,
for it.
me.
Okay, and intro.
But I can see like the player at the bottom.
Oh,
I don't.
I don't know. I
Does it
can't
have
do that.
music?
Hold on. Dang on it. Okay, that didn't work so well, but
Yeah. I'm like, what the?
well, at least we tried. We tried. We tried. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We are back. It's the Geekswagg podcast. Uh, it is your boy Bunny 3000 along with.
Makita the Grim Freaker. Hi.
Hello. And of course, Jason is supposedly on his way. He on CP time. He was asking me whether we were going to do a podcast, and then he like disappeared on me and was like, "Hey, BJ, we doing a podcast?" I'm like, yeah, be there at 7:45, Jason." And then all of a sudden, he's like, nowhere to be found. So we are going to try to do it without him for now until he like wakes up. Cause knowing him, he probably fell asleep waiting for the podcast to start, and then he'll wake up like at 8:30 and be like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." So we'll see whether or not Jason gets his stuff together and brings it in there. Makita, how you doing,
Hi.
girl?
Oh, I'm doing really good. I'm having a great day. How about you?
I'm making it. I'm making it. It's been one of those days trying to pull it all together, and your head's all in like 1,500 directions. But I've got one mind, one accord right now. I'm focused. I'm ready. I'm okay. I'm not quite ready, but I am halfway focused at least.
Right. Right. Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a little bit of freestyling going on today. Bunny wasn't prepared. I apologize, but I think we have an idea of some different things we're gonna do today. We got a little bit of gamer news here that Makita's gonna fill us in with to start us off. There was a little bit of there was a bit of interesting news in the gaming world. For those of you who were able to game this weekend, y'all probably already know what that news might be pertaining to. But Makita's got some other topics as well. And then I kind of wanted to get into a couple of other interesting topics. One that, yes, Makita, you will be able to participate in, even though it has to do with parenting. So don't worry. We're going to get your insight on this as well. And then, because we kind of need to, we don't want to, but it is release day for all those Mad Knights out there. So we're going to talk a little bit about sports games and our experiences with them and just kind of reminisce a bit because I know neither me nor Makita are getting Madden this season. Don't know about Jay. Usually he goes through that whole spiel where he says he's not going to play and he reads like two or three reviews. He gets all hype about it. He tries to get me all interested in it. And then, we play it for like 10 minutes and then we say, yep, we suck. And then we like resell it and don't play it anymore. It's the constant cycle that me and Jason go through. But let us go ahead and jump into some gamer news. Makita, I know you got a little bit for us.
Yes. I'm sure everybody has heard the news that it's kind of surprising. Amazon, not Google, Amazon is actually buying Twitch.
Oh my God, yeah, that was big.
Yeah, that was really surprising. Back in May, the what what was supposed to happen was Google was Google was supposed to buy Twitch for I think upwards of $1 billion,
Yep.
right?
hmm
And somewhere along the way, people are just like, okay, how did it pop up that Amazon is taking over Twitch? Amazon actually happened to snag Twitch for $30 million less than $1 billion. So that's
hmm
$970 million they snagged it for. if you consider that a deal.
I think it
Um,
is.
yeah, I guess. I mean, whatever, $30 million. I guess that's a deal. But people want to know why that deal between Google and Twitch actually fell through. And what happened was something that was really kind of simple. Google, as you already know, they own YouTube. And YouTube now offers streaming services, which is quite similar to what Twitch offers, except YouTube, they allow you to Twitch. Oh, wow, allow you to stream, allow you to stream whatever you want. Twitch basically has you stream just video games. And what they had was something called antitrust issues. And I'm assuming that, I guess it kind of didn't make any sense. I guess it was like a conflict of interest
Right.
there. It was just basically, I don't know, I saw it as kind of greedy, I guess. Maybe they want to just have like a monopoly on everything when it comes to streaming. I mean, there's other
Yeah.
streaming services like Hitbox, but it's not as popular as Twitch. So I guess Google would have their hands pretty much a monopoly over the streaming services. But
Yep.
Google kind of like just dropped it because of these antitrust issues. And Google is not a stranger to antitrust issues because they've had complaints before about them being unfair with like their business practices as far as advertising and I guess this like their search engine in general. I guess the information that they allow to be found or what they do with the information that is on Google. There
Hmm.
have been tons of complaints from the U.S. and European government, so that sparked a big investigation. So I'm guessing they just want to avoid any more
Additional
issues.
lawsuits.
Yeah, and just said, F it. Now Amazon has it. I don't know how it's going to work with Amazon because I buy almost everything I can off of Amazon because they have fantastic deals, but I just don't know how that's going to work as far as Twitch because when you think Amazon, you don't think video game streaming. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what happens, but the deal is supposed to be finalized at the end of this year. So I guess we'll see how they're going to work things out by then.
So honestly, the real question for me about that whole deal is all these new policies that Twitch was dumping on all of its users and stuff right before the, proclaimed Google, buyout or whatever because of all the YouTube stuff that they have going on, all their bots and all their, stuff that looks for licensed music and everything. They
Mhm.
kind of implemented that right before, well, of course, right before this deal even happened. It was not even a month ago that they implemented that. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they decide to keep that policy,
Right.
now that they're not going the whole YouTube route, or whether or not, they drop it, you
I
know.
think they're still going to keep that policy because um, I know that a lot of people were kind of worried that maybe they just implemented it because Amazon, they already knew Amazon was going to have the deal already,
Hmm.
and it's Google's not Google. Twitch says that wasn't the case. Like it was already going to be done.
A
I
part of
think
the
they're going to
strategy.
keep it. I think they're going to keep it only because of the fact that I think that there's just going to be some money involved in that because there's a lot of streamers on Twitch that actually play music, whether it's like an interlude, like Be Right Back or Setting Up and things like that.
Hmm.
And they play this copyrighted tracks, and perhaps they may be looking into, I don't know. I know that there's like a service that you can, like an upgraded service that you can do on Twitch for like $8 and some change a month.
Hmm.
Perhaps they're going to increase it and say, okay, well, for $8.99 you can do this, but for I don't know, maybe $10.99 or $11.99 you can stream whatever music that you want, but you have to stream it through I guess Amazon Music. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that would probably be a smart move,
yeah,
especially if you're like you are a consistent streamer.
yeah, definitely. That's actually a good move on their part. Yeah, I like that.
I know
So,
they should have me doing that, marketing and figure out how they can get more money. I think that would be a
right?
smart move.
Yeah, I think it would too. They've been looking for more reasons to use all their different Amazon Prime services and their
Hmm.
TV, their Fire, and all the the video, their instant video, and kind of linking everything together into this massive media conglomerate kind of thing. So I guess it would kind of make sense if they had Twitch in there to kind of include Twitch Turbo to maybe Amazon Prime or something. I don't know. It would be interesting to see how they wrap that all together into their whole
Review.
video music streaming featured thing. That'll
Yeah,
be
like
interesting.
Twitch Prime.
Yeah, Twitch Prime Fire.
Right. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, whatever works as long as it gets some more money, right?
Yeah.
So what else? I know there was something else really big.
Yeah, apparently Capcom is suing, oh my gosh, I want to say it's Koei Tecmo. Am I saying it right? Is it Koei?
Because you said it, yes,
Right.
is how you say it.
All right,
Because I have
let's
no idea.
roll with that. Let's roll with that. Yeah, Capcom is suing them for some patent infringements. Apparently, there are maybe like 50 of Tecmo's titles that are infringing upon patents that Capcom filed back in I think 2002,
Okay.
and one especially was Capcom had a special patent for if in like if there's like an environment and there's like free range enemies like walking around,
Hmm.
the controller actually vibrates when enemies are near. Apparently they have the patent on that. They have the patent on that idea.
Oh,
And Tecmo is infringing upon that as well as several other uh, video game ideas and their software techniques.
bastards.
Yeah, I know, right? Koei Tecmo is obviously they're denying it. They're saying we're not infringing upon any of the of the of your patents whatsoever. I guess they're saying they did it on their own.
They're like, yeah, our
Whatever
think
you want to
tank came
say.
up with it too. Blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
we totally came up with this. But the lawsuit is huge. I mean, they're suing them for $9.4 million
Hmm.
as and they're looking to freeze quite a few of the titles that Tecmo has. They want to stop. They want to see sales on those
Wow.
titles that are infringing on their patents, and they also want 10% of the licensing fees of the games that are infringing upon these patents. And supposedly, there's over 50 titles that are infringing upon these
Dynasty Warriors,
patents.
no.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's gonna be hell for them. But there's
wow.
some really mixed emotions going on in the gaming community, and they're like, oh, Capcom isn't doing that great, and that's why they're suing everybody. But the way I figure it, whether I'm doing well or not, if it's mine, and I'm
A
going to sue
patent's a
you
patent.
for it. Yeah,
Heck
it's
yeah, a patent's
mine.
a patent. That's the whole purpose of having something like
I don't care how catty it looks. $9.4 million is a lot of money. That's $9.4 million that I don't have.
that.
So I want
Exactly.
it. I
Yes.
want it.
Me.
You stop using it.
No, I want it.
Right.
Me. But yeah, that is pretty serious because anytime you get in any kind of litigation like that, honestly, I think not even the money is the serious part. The fact that they would actually freeze like 50 plus titles, that's a lot. On top of like getting a percentage of all the sales and everything. It's not like Tecmo Koei's dropping major numbers on a lot of their games anyway. So to have them take a chunk like that
Yeah,
out of
that's
whatever
deep.
it is they sell, out of whatever they sell, that's pretty deep. you know. But that's it. Yeah, that's pretty serious. But we'll see what comes of that, because you know how all those legalities usually go. Somebody usually goes, hey, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's think about this here. Slip someone some
Right.
money, slip someone some money, slip someone some money. Okay, settled.
Yeah. Oh
you
no,
know,
what lawsuit? I
yeah,
don't
what?
remember any lawsuit.
Didn't file such lawsuit. Yeah, I plead the fifth. You know, it
Yeah.
ends up being one of those deals half the time. But you never know. Capcom, they may not decide to push it on the rug and just go, all balls out and try to get all, the whole kit and caboodle with this one. So we'll see
Right.
how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Um, I know also there was of course some hacking issues.
Ew.
Yeah, with what is the name of that group? The little hacking group. Remember what the name was?
I don't remember what the name was, but I know they were DDoSing the PlayStation Network, which I'm sure was horrific for everyone.
And the Xbox Live network, because they had some
Was
issues
it
too.
Xbox Live too?
Yeah, they snuck in the Xbox Live because it was down for a little while too, and I think Microsoft tried to play. I think both companies tried to play it off for a little while. I have to confirm that, but I think they did hit both of
I think Sony was more forthcoming with it. I mean, forthcoming. They had to because everybody couldn't do anything.
them.
Um, wasn't it Sony and Blizzard? Was it Sony and Blizzard?
Yes, it was Sony,
Yeah.
Blizzard, and you know what? I'll let me confirm that also while you keep going.
Yeah, because I think
I
it was
let the people
Sony,
know.
Sony and Blizzard, where I guess it was most noticeable because I had a friend of mine that lost one of his characters while he was playing online, and yeah,
No.
yeah, that's probably one of the worst nightmares because he was going on, I think hardcore on some game that he was playing, and he just completely lost his save, he lost his character and everything,
Oh
but.
wow.
I wasn't I wasn't really worried mostly because I had like an old credit card on there. So it wasn't like it was just like, okay, well, if you guys steal information, you're stealing an old credit card that I don't have anymore. So like whatever.
Yeah.
I guess because it didn't affect me, I wasn't really worried about it. But a lot of people were freaked about it. A lot of people were freaked, but this hasn't happened. Has that happened? It hasn't happened in a couple years, right? Like maybe like a few years where something
Um,
crazy happened.
I think they've had security issues where they've been hacked, but it didn't bring the network down.
Right.
And I think the big time when it actually hit, the last time that it hit, like all the networks, when they got like sensitive info, that was the one that was like a few years ago.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't think they've had a serious one that has taken down the network in a while, you
Right.
know. But
But yeah.
let's see. Looking at the Guardian, okay, that's what it said. It said, like you said before, the PlayStation Network was hit. Blizzard's Battle.net was hit, and who else did they say was hit? I don't want to see all the tweets about all the people. Just want to see who got hit. Oh, that's what it was. Apparently, oh, that's what it was. The group was called Lizard Squad.
Hmm.
Um, and that apparently they said that there's a chance that Xbox could be next in their hacking attempts.
Okay, so they didn't really get zapped
Yeah.
like Blizzard and PSN, but I'm kind of not surprised because I would expect for Microsoft to have security walls up the wazoo, especially when people are paying for Xbox Live. But PSN, I'm
Yeah.
kind of not surprised since it's like a free network. I mean, it should be definitely more secure, but I'm not surprised since it's free.
Well, it's free for PS3 users, yes. But for PS4 they have to pay for it. in order to be online, to do their multiplayer
Oh
on
wow.
the yeah, on PS4 they have to pay also. That was one of the changes on PS4. But I think the difference was, and I think Microsoft may have changed it for some of the services, but like, the whole thing where the apps that you have on your, that you can get on PlayStation Network, you don't have to have PlayStation Plus in order to download and use them. But in order to play and do stuff, you do have to have PlayStation Plus on PS4. So I think that was the change. But yeah, it was honestly at first a part of me was thinking that it was Xbox Live, and then I started because I forget when it was. It was on Friday
Mhm.
when they were having all that initial news or initial problems. I kept seeing everybody saying, "Oh, something's down. This is down," and I was trying to play Diablo 3 on my
Right.
Xbox One, and it wouldn't let me on.
Mm.
And it was strange. I kept shooting. I shot a message out to Blizzard or whatever when I tweeted. And honestly, I don't even think it had anything to do with the attack. I think it had to do with my Xbox because I ended up rebooting it, doing like a hard reboot and then letting it sit for a few seconds and then booting it back up and then boop, went right back in. So I was like pissed off for a good maybe 2-3 minutes when I was trying to play Diablo. I was like, Diablo 3, go! Xbox, Diablo, Xbox, what's wrong with you? And then, it would just sit on the loading screen.
Right.
And I got scared because, any game I put in, it got stuck on a loading screen. So I was like, oh man, there's got to be something wrong with the service or something. And then something told me, I was like, you know what, just reboot. And did it. Then all of a sudden it stopped working. And then I was like, ha, yes, engineering comes in handy sometimes. But yes, there was a lot going on, um, or at least a decent amount going on in the gamer world. Um, One of the things that I kind of did want to chat about a little bit was a few of the articles that I've managed to get out there. For those of you who do still read, uh, actually had to do a little bit with just some of the experiences that I've seen gaming as a parent. And it's always interesting to see, you know, what other parents and what other people that have children, well, that's the same thing, other people that have kids, what they decide to do when it comes to allowing their kids to play games or for how long, what games they allow them to play, what consoles they allow them to play, and
Mhm.
just how they kind of expose them to the same culture that we as adults are in. And so before I kind of delve into what I have chosen to do with my kids, I would be interested to see what you would do. Like if you had kids or a child or multiple kids, and you wanted to break your kids into the whole gaming scene, would you have like a rule set where you'd say, would you have like something where you said, okay, you can only play this console or a certain kind of games, or would you have like a list of games where you'd say, okay, you can only play these games up to like age such and such, and then start opening up the library of games they could play? What would you do?
Um, Personally, I've already decided that whenever I do have kids, if it's in the cards for me to have kids,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have it set up on their, I guess, their little baby laptop. I'm gonna have maybe like NES or Super NES games so that they can have games that I experienced that really just switched on my love for games as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it depends on how capable they are. You know, kids these days are like super smart. They have things that we didn't have. I mean, I'm sure if we had the things they had now, we'd probably be like way advanced like they are.
Oh heck yeah.
But but um I would start them off on that, and at least so they can have an appreciation for the technology that we have today, but then also experience games that basically taught you how to play while the story went on. Like kind of like
Hmm.
how like Mega Man is, like it kind of just like teaches you along the way instead of it being, I guess, holding the player's hand
Yep.
as it goes along.
Hmm.
But yeah, I definitely started with that. And then if there are certain games, I think it's important as a parent to not be like a hawk, but at least be involved in everything that your kid does, especially when it comes to video games. I think that people kind of underestimate the intelligence of people, and especially children, because they're scared of the violence in video games. But we've had violence in cartoons and in toys and pretty much everything. We've had violence for like a really long time, and
Yeah.
grabbing guns and killing people, that's been going on since like forever. And before that, swords and bows and arrows and rocks and
Oh
whatever
yeah.
else we can grab.
Hmm.
So I think I would just, I guess it depends on the kid and how
Yeah.
mature they are.
Definitely. Definitely. Because just to give you a couple of stories, I know that I've heard. I forget what podcast I was listening to on Nerdist. There was a group of parents that they were trying to get their kids acclimated to gaming, and I guess they kind of bypassed some of the classics, mainly because a lot of times your kids, a lot of times the kids will be sitting down watching their parents play, and a lot of times, of course, they'll be interested in playing those particular games because they see mommy and daddy playing, right?
Mhm.
So I thought this was just amazing. This one family, the mom and the dad, I think they actually did like voice acting um, in gaming as a part of their profession, right? And so, their lives are basically games for the most part. So, they were playing, which game was it? I think it was Grand Theft Auto.
Mhm.
And they had it on their PC. And what they decided to do a couple of times was, they were going to let their kid play. So they'd sit the kid down on their lap and, they'd let the kid play and the kid would be driving around in the cars because apparently that's what the kid liked to do, to drive all the different cars in the game. And surprisingly enough, the kid didn't want to hit any of the people. So they would slow down for people or they'd move around, they drive around the people, and they just drive around the town, right?
Mhm.
So, of course, as the kid got a bit older, they were like, okay, their kid's essentially going to get to the point where they're going to want to play or be able to play the game by themselves. So I forget what age the kid was, but it couldn't have been more than like 5 or 6 or something. And they decided to make their own mod of Grand Theft Auto where they essentially stripped out all the guns, all the violence, and all the ability to, hit people so that the kid could get in the game, take all the different cars that they wanted to or any of the vehicles and just drive around the entire landscape of Grand Theft Auto, almost violence free. And I thought that was just amazing that, those parents were number one, that they had the time to do that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I thought it was so interesting that, the parents were like, we want to get our kid into gaming. And since we know they're interested in this particular one, we're not going to just plop them down and say, no, you can't play it because it's very violent. They, like you were said, they were involved. They saw the mindset of the child and they were like, I know what this kid can handle. Let's try to see if we can modify it so that they can have a good fun and, you know, I don't want to necessarily say non-violent, but they can have a good experience where they don't necessarily have to watch the kid the entire time. And it kind of as I listened to that podcast, it kind of made me think of kind of how I treat my kids because I basically set them up almost kind of like you said.
Right.
Um, I didn't really use the like ROMs or anything from the SNES. I almost essentially went out and bought them one. But I knew that my oldest son watched me play Halo a lot. So I knew that that was going to be his gateway drug into gaming. He loves Halo. So
Right.
I had to get them an Xbox. So I've got them the original Xbox, but I always managed to get, you know, those arcade compilations
Mhm.
by like Midway and Capcom and Neo Geo that have like all the old school games and Atari actually. I buy them all those little compilations and stuff, and I basically tell them, I'm like, look, there's three of y'all, three little boys. I'm like, you guys have to play something that allows all three of you to play at the same time. If you don't, then you have to take turns, and you guys know how that goes. They get
Right.
all angry. They say, "Oh, I didn't really die," or "You weren't looking when I died." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They like trick each other.
It was a
So it's like,
glitch.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh no, that wasn't fair. No, 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 something happened. So, I make them actually try to play games that are co-op games so that all three of them can play at the same time. So as you can imagine, that gets a little bit hard to find one that actually keeps their interest before they end up going right back to Halo. So it's interesting to see them go to certain games in those little compilations because they'll go and they'll play, they'll play the old Atari stuff. They'll look at the Centipede. I know one of my sons, he likes. You remember that one arcade game where you're like the barista and they've got all the guys coming towards the bar. There's like three long bars, and you have to like fill the mugs with beer and like
And
throw them
slide him
against.
down the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and slide them down the thing. He loves playing that game. Why? I'm not certain, but that
It's
it just
addictive.
captured his mind. Yeah, it just captured his mind. He's like, "Oh, I love this game," and running and grabbing the glasses. He's horrible at it, but he loves playing. So, it's interesting to see them play those little things. I saw them playing Gauntlet one day, and they love playing Gauntlet, and all of those beat 'em up games, those side-scrolling beat 'em up games, kind of like Final Fight and Streets of Rage and stuff. They get
Mhm.
loose on all those games. And for a little while, I felt kind of bad because even though I was getting them a little bit of the Atari, the Neo Geo, the Midway stuff, it was still bypassing, like you said, all of those great classics like, Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, um, Lord have mercy, all those Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo games. And it was, I almost had to sit there and think about it. I was like, look, I'm gonna have to make up a list of games that before I give you guys a 360 or Xbox One, that you have to play and beat these games. So, almost like I had them on their 3DS, and I ended up buying them certain games like Contra, the original Super Mario Brothers. I was gonna get a Metroid and Zelda, and I'm kind of worried about whether or not they'll even be interested in that, considering they're so into Pokemon and like Mario Kart and stuff. But
Mhm.
it's interesting to kind of see what other people and other parents say. What they want or don't want their kids to play, or how they kind of get them in or started in gaming. Because there's chosen few people that are like, hey, give them Halo, and then that's the only game they play for like 5 years, and that kid is like the uber Halo player since they're like, since they're like 7 years old or something
Right.
like that. So it's interesting, but so you guys should, if you guys haven't already, you should definitely go and check out a couple of those articles. I've actually got one of them that I did with one of the editors on Gaming Precision. That's just called Gamer Parenting 101, and we both kind of run down the games that we both think that our kids should play before they upgrade and get their own console. And of course, all the other rants that we have about either games or things that parents really should look after whenever they're giving their kids games and stuff like that. So definitely be on the lookout for more parenting gamer articles and stuff. Um, so Makita, our
Hi.
last topic of the day. Since Mr. Thickenation decided he's not going to be with us
I
today.
know this guy.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm interested to know. Well, I know you're neither one of us really are interested in Madden, but it's unavoidable. It's one of the biggest games of every season of every year. Madden drops. It just dropped today, so there's plenty of guys that are probably losing their girlfriends or, have decided to put their phones on mute for a while so that they can get back into the whole Madden swing of things. But was there ever a game in your past that was a sports game that kind of just grabbed you to the point where you were just that into it for
Yes.
years? What
Yes.
was it?
2 games. Okay. PlayStation, I think it was PlayStation 2. That would be
Hmm.
NBA Streets. Yeah.
Oh,
NBA
yeah.
Streets. You
Oh,
had to do the
wow.
tricks. You were like, bah, bah, bah. You had
Yes.
super slow and you were just like all over the
Yeah.
place. It was dope. It was dope. It was dope. It was
That
dope.
was an excellent
NBA Streets
game.
was awesome. Like
Yes.
that was I think that was the first sports game where I was just so open. I was just so open. Like every day I came home from school, that
Hmm.
was it. NBA Streets. That was it.
Yep. Hmm.
And back then you go over your friend's house, you're like, yo, I'm gonna make you touch earth. Yeah, yeah. It's like it's crazy. So, I
Yeah.
used to play that for hours. Like I had unlocked everything. It was awesome. And so
Hmm.
it's NBA Streets, and for the Xbox, I think I played it for. I don't even remember what year it was, but it was a hockey game.
Uh-huh.
And I bought it from GameStop because, it was used, and I said, why the hell not? And I happen to find hockey very entertaining when you watch it
Uh-huh.
on TV. And I would play the hell out of that game. I would
Hmm.
play, but I never played it with anyone because I didn't know anybody that liked to
Played
play
hockey.
hockey. But it was great. It was
Uh-huh.
great. Those are the only two sports games that I can remember that actually kept my attention. I
Uh-huh.
have, I think, I want to say it was Madden 2013. It could have been Madden 2014. Did that just come out, or is that Madden 2015 that just came out?
They call it Madden 15, and
Okay.
I wanna a part of me wants to say the last one was Madden 25 because it was like an anniversary or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. Well, the last one that came out, I bought it because like somebody at the time, um, somebody that no, it probably was 2 years ago. I don't know.
Mm.
Whenever it was, um, it was somebody that I was really close to, and I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna get Madden," and I bought it, and I still have it, and it's in plastic. It's still in
Still in
plastic
plastic.
to this day. It's still in plastic. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play that game. I'm gonna learn how to play football." Nope,
Hmm.
never happened.
Do you watch football?
No,
Oh, you don't watch football. Which sports do you watch?
I don't really watch sports anymore. I'd rather play them,
Uh-huh.
but I think the last sport that I watched was tennis. I like
Hmm.
watching tennis. Tennis can get really intense.
Right.
And I know a lot of people don't find this to be a sport, but I
Uh-oh.
really
Uh-oh.
like figure skating. Figure skating is awesome.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Look, I can't lie. I like watching figure skating too when it
Yeah,
comes
figure
on.
skating is awesome.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, like other than that, no. You know what?
No.
The first sports game that I've ever played, and it's it's definitely sports, but it's not like I guess something
One of the
everybody
big
would be like,
three.
oh yeah, when you say sports, it's not the first thing that you think about.
Okay.
It was this track and field game called Decathlon for Sega Saturn.
Okay.
That was the first game. Man, I remember playing that game so hard. Like I would press the like my buttons were so screwed up because I would like be pressing the button real hard so I could run real fast and do like the long jump.
Oh
I was
heck
like
yeah. Oh
going
my
across there. It
gosh.
was like crazy and it was awesome. I love I think it was Decathlon or something like that. I think that's the name of it. But it was on Sega Saturn, so
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
actually the first sports game that caught my attention. Then NBA
Uh-huh.
Streets. Then this whatever year NHL game it was
Uh-huh.
that I played on the Xbox.
Oh man, see you brought back some like really really bad blackmailable memories for myself back in the
Oh.
day. I actually, you remember back when they had on the regular Nintendo those big exercise pads for the track and
Yes.
field game? Oh my gosh. I remember playing that with one of my friends, and like you said, they had like the two pads in the front were supposed to be turbo speed, the two
Mhm.
in the middle was supposed to be regular, and then the back ones are supposed to be like real hard, the hard level ones, right?
Mhm.
So we'd be playing the track and field game, and we both would challenge each other, and be like, we'd stay in the middle, and then when it got like near the end of the race, we'd all jump into the top ones with the turbo and be like, and the little dude would be running mad fast and stuff. Oh my gosh, it was comedy. I know. I remember my friend's mom hating it every single time we pulled that thing out because that little gamepad thing, oof, it took a beating. It just
I
took a
bet.
massive beating. But I remember the first game, probably the first game that I got that was a sports game that was like uber competitive that I played with my friends was probably Lakers versus Celtics. Yeah, Electronic Arts when they were called Electronic Arts, and I don't think they had sports in there. That was like one of the first basketball games they had long before there was NBA Live, which died and supposedly is coming back again. Um, Lakers versus Celtics, I think, was the first one that they had. I could be wrong on that, but I remember that specifically being like the bee's knees of all basketball games back then. Because I think before then it was like there was this little PC game called TV Sports Basketball or something. They had TV Sports Football, TV Sports Basketball, and baseball and stuff, and they were always used on like the Commodore and the Amiga computers and everything. And those were
Mhm.
like the big sports games for those. But when this thing came out with like the signature moves for everybody and all these different maneuvers for each one of the different basketball players. That was it for me because I was big time into NBA back then.
Mhm.
Huge Knicks fan, big time Magic Johnson fan. So I was loving the Lakers and loving the Knicks and loving let's see who else was big back then. Dominique Wilkins on the Atlanta Hawks and everything. So in Spud Webb, so I was big time into basketball back then, and it transferred. I mean, even to this day, and you hear me and Jason talk about it. We'll love playing NBA 2K since Live died like years ago, and we'll eventually end up having epic battles again because I kind of chickened out this year. He's been on it seriously, and this year I have not really been playing it enough to give him that much of a challenge like I usually do. But yeah, it's coming, Jason. It's coming because you probably snoring in your chair right now. And when you watch this day after, I'm telling you, son, October, NBA, what is it? 2K15? Telling you, son, you're gonna have some losses. But let's see. I think that's really all we got. Did you have
Yeah.
something else you wanted to talk about?
No, news has been really slow.
Yes, it has. It has been. But, ladies and gentlemen, to kind of end off this show, we did have kind of a big announcement that we wanted to make. We are soon about to have a partnership with Roundtable Media, and we will be moving our illustrious video cast to the, what is it called? The Ladies of the Round Table Twitch Twitch feed. So coming soon, we will be having our podcast not here in the lovely Google Hangout space that you see before you. It will be on Twitch. So you will definitely be seeing a bit of change in the cards for the Geekswagg podcast. We're going to be stepping up our game. We're going to be having hosts, additional hosts, featured guests, interviews. We're going to have more tech. Geekswagg is going to be a bit more focused on the swag that geeks and gamers, not just gamers, but geeks and gamers all look for. We're going to try to see if we can get our hands on, just all that geek and gamer affiliated swag out there that you guys either know about, don't know about, want, or should want. We're gonna let you guys know about it. So we're trying to see if we can get more tech that we can test out for you guys, review for you guys, maybe like some of the different books that have to do not just like the tip books or the tip guides. We're not talking about those kind of books. We're talking about like the compendiums that talk about the history of a lot of the games, or maybe even some of the compendiums that talk about the worlds of some of the different anime titles that you guys are into, just different things that aren't quite the TV show or the movie or the game, but are related to all those things. So we're gonna get a bit more focused on a lot of that for you guys, and you'll see there's some change in the winds coming. So we're definitely excited about it. So definitely keep your ears locked to the website, heedmag.com/geekswag. We're going to have all the posts and everything there. Keep your eyes on Ladies of the Round Table. I think it's lortnation.com. Keep your eyes there because you're going to be seeing a lot more stuff there as well. And as always, keep your eyes on zgameronline.com. Makita's always got a lot of the news and the what's happening in the world of geeks and gaming and movies and comics and everything. She's definitely holding it down there. So definitely make sure you go and visit there for all kinds of news, reviews, and such. And that's also going to be all linked into this massive conglomerate of all this other kind of stuff we're getting into. It's just big stuff. I'm excited, people. Excited,
Yes.
excited, excited.
Very excited.
Yeah. So, Makita, what you got for the people before we get up out of here?
So, as I said before, gaming news is just exceptionally slow lately. But I am expecting for it to pick up, especially with, once again, New York Comic Con coming around the corner. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. There are I'm just really excited. There are some great things coming for us. Just really excited to get ourselves out there. And Ladies of the Round Table seems pretty cool. So you'll definitely see more of us, and I'll definitely be streaming tons more, at least twice a week now. So look
Yes.
forward to it.
Yes, yeah. We're actually, the whole crew is looking to try to get a bit more sessions out here, a little bit more organized sessions, so that we know when everybody's going to be on, so that you guys will be excited and geeked to be out there, may even be able to play with us. Maybe not. I don't know about some of y'all, but we will see. We will see. If y'all are nice, then we will let you guys play with us. Ha! How about that? Anyways, it's your boy Bunny 3000, Geek Swag Podcast, along with.
Makita the Grim Freaker.
That's right, people. We love y'all, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Peaceables.